Okay.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
I'm good. Feel better.
Feel a lot better?
Yeah, I feel better this week.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, because last week I remember us discussing your newfound freedom and your feelings of curiosity and as to what else is out there. And I was wondering how do you feel about that?
I still feel like that. It's a lot to do with a guy I've kind of been talking to recently.
Oh, you met somebody?
I did, but it's very down low, and he doesn't know about my boyfriend. And it's like I feel guilty in a way. I mean, and it's not like I'm physically cheating, it's not physical, but it's just he's kind of a good friend that we've started to hang out more, and of course I'm trying to be careful of that because I don't want Jeff to be triggered to, I don't know, get violent or whatever. And it's tough because I feel guilty that I'm doing it, and I feel guilty that I'm talking to somebody else, but at the same time I know it's helping me to get away from a bad situation.
So it sounds like you're more you're more emotionally attached. You're getting emotionally attached to this new person.
Yeah.
Is it somebody that you've already known? Or
somebody I met at school. I've known him now for maybe 3 months or so, and we started just having lunch together in the beginning, and it was just like a friendly, thing. But I'm noticing that, I'm not telling him about Jeff, and it's making me feel more empowered and almost like I'm escaping from that world when I'm with him. And it's like I don't know if I'm leading him on though, and like I have these different feelings. I mean, he doesn't say anything. It's not like he's tried to kiss me or something and I didn't do it or nothing like that. It's just, I don't know, I just have mixed emotions because half of me is really happy and I feel like a different person when I'm with him. I feel like I'm free and, like he's a really good guy, and he gives me hope that like I could be with someone like that someday. And then the other half of me feels really bad because I go home to Jeff, and while I kind of hate him, I do still kind of love him.
Well, why is it that you feel that you can't be honest with your friend? If you guys are, just friends, and why do you feel you have to hide that from him?
I think it just makes me feel, I don't know, I think because Jeff just controls so much of my life, and so many people know about it and kind of judge me for it, I guess, and it's just nice to be with someone and refreshing to be with someone that doesn't know that side of my life and who sees me for me. And I'm not in Jeff's shadow. I'm not, just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just like I feel free, and I don't want to lose that, and I don't, and I worry too that he's going to back away if I tell him I have a boyfriend, and maybe he is trying to swoon me or something, and if I tell him I have a boyfriend, that might push him back, and especially if I tell him I have a boyfriend who's pretty prone to violence and might hurt him or do something, and that's scary, and I don't know, I battle with it.
Well, you said that. Well, tell me, why do you think you've been with Jeff for so long? If he
Well, it started out, it didn't start out that way. It gradually got to a point where it was not healthy anymore. But, in the beginning, we got along. He was very charming, and I was 17, he was 21, so it's a pretty big age gap at that point, and I was just intrigued, I guess the word, or, I was just kind of, what's the word? I guess he just swept me off my feet. And kind of, you know, I was just liking the idea that he was older, and it made me feel mature, and I lied to him about my age at first, you know, by a year or whatever. But, you know, I felt like, you know, my friends were always saying, oh, he's so cute, and, you know, like, he's older, and he can get us alcohol. So, you know, there were perks, and I just, you know, it was all very, you know, alluring. So I went for that, and he was very charming. You know, he always told me I was beautiful. He made me feel like I never had a boyfriend that really like told me that before. I never had anybody really make me feel good about myself, and he did that. And you know, at the time, I just believed every word he said, and I just, you know, he bought me flowers for no reason, and he was very just charismatic.
When did you notice when did things started to change? And did you ever notice any red flags? Were there red flags in the beginning that you just decided to ignore and overlook? Or when did the change come gradually or suddenly? How did that happen?
It was gradual, but there were red flags. Like in retrospect, there were things that he did that I should have known would lead to more problems later, but
like what?
Well, I noticed that he got kind of, I don't know if it was jealous or he got angry when I would hang out with my girlfriends, and he was very like insecure, you know, like he thought that I was going to cheat on him, or he would just constantly accuse me of things. He would call me all the time. Like if I didn't answer his first phone call, he would call me like 5-6 times in a row, and just keep calling until I picked up, and it was almost just a little crazy, you know, like at the time I just thought, oh, he's just, you know, he loves me, you know, he just really wants to talk to me. And then it was weird, and, you know, I knew it was weird, but I kind of just dismissed it, you know, I kind of just thought, yeah, well, he's just, you know, he just cares too, and then that was the problem too, like I took that as he cares a lot, you know, and I took that as like he really cares, you know, like I had, you know, a boyfriend before him that was, I guess, normal and didn't do that. So I thought, oh, well, that wasn't love, this is love, you know, and because I felt so strongly about him in the beginning, I just thought it was normal. I thought that was what a relationship was supposed to be, because he was older too, and I thought maybe I just didn't know what a relationship was before, and this is what it is. It's supposed to be crazy. It's supposed to, you know, and I know that that's not true, but when you're 17 and you don't know anything else, that's kind of what you believe. So.
Sure. I mean, you know, you have someone that's telling you, you know, how beautiful you are, and giving you roses and flowers out of nowhere, and, you know, he's cute, and your girlfriends, you know, like him, and they're encouraging you. I can see where, you know, you might fall for somebody like this, and you might mistake the possessiveness for, you know, oh, he loves me. I can see how, you know, a young girl such as yourself could fall into a trap like that.
Yeah, and that was another thing. He is very possessive. That was shown pretty early too. I mean, the phone calls and all that was one thing, but then even with my family, you know, he would get weird, you know, if I wanted to see my family, if I didn't come over right away at a certain time, and he would, you know, it's almost like he just wanted me all to himself, and he didn't like when I was with anyone else, and even if he didn't always say it, I could just tell, like, his attitude changed when I would say I was going somewhere after school instead of right home to him, and, you know, then one day, a friend of mine, it was a guy friend, but just a friend, called me on my birthday, actually, just to say happy birthday, and he heard the message, because he left a voicemail, and he broke my phone. And, like, that was kind of alarming, but I thought, he's just mad, he thinks I'm talking to this guy, you know, I'll let it go. But, you know, that wasn't the first time. He broke my phone again, and eventually, now I have a phone that I hide from him that he doesn't know about, that I talked to the guy that I met at school on, and now it almost feels like all that time that he was insecure with me and not trusting me, I was being trustworthy, and now I'm not, and, you know, and I feel guilty for that, but I don't know. I feel like he deserves it a little bit.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, how you feel, being in a situation like this. I mean, it has to be, terrifying. And, I wanna ask you, is that the reason that you stay with him? Are you staying out of fear for your life?
Yeah, I mean, 90% of it is just fear of what he'll do to me or to himself if I leave, because he is a little bit unstable. I mean, I've seen him kind of go from hot to cold, like, in a matter of seconds, and it makes me wonder, like, if he has something wrong, bipolar or something,
Right.
Like that he can go from being so angry at me and telling me to leave, and then the second I go to walk out the door, he breaks down and cries and begs for me to come back. And it's like, it's not normal behavior, and I get nervous and I get scared that he's gonna, like, what is he capable of if that's the range of emotion that he feels, So I worry a lot about him and his well-being,
As well as your own.
Yeah, and also part of me is scared that I'm not gonna find love again. I've invested 4 years, and at my age, that's a long time, It's not a lifetime, but I just feel like it's a big investment, I kind of gave him all my prime years, and it's hard to start over with someone, and I worry that I won't find someone, and he kind of manipulated me to feel that way for a while, that no one was gonna love me the way he did, and it's a little bit scary how much of the cycle he follows that I've been learning about, that he follows that cycle of abuse, and
Yeah.
I'm realizing that he has a problem. And so part of me does feel obligated to help him and be there for him.
Yeah, but you want it, well, I'm sure you know that, you're not responsible for making him better. You'll never change his mindset, nothing you do will change him. He has to be willing to make the change within himself. And if he does have some mental issues that needs to be addressed, this is something that he needs to look into for himself. You won't be able to save him from that. And I think, the sooner you realize that, maybe you will become more comfortable with leaving the relationship. You mentioned that he would even get mad at you when you spent time with your family. Did you ever tell your parents what?
They know. They can tell, because he has shown up at family parties before, waiting for me in the driveway, and kind of making a scene with his truck, like he has like a fancy, loaded up truck, so he would peel out and just be crazy for no reason, just because I wasn't answering my phone, or because I was maybe 10 minutes later than I said I'd be, and like he would get nuts like that, and he's made scenes before, and it does make me mad that he treated me like that, and so it pushed me away, ultimately. I mean, it's hard to love someone that treats you like that, and my parents are kind of over his crap, and they tell me all the time, what are you doing? Like, he's clearly not normal, or stable, or the right person, and he doesn't treat you right. My friends know it, and it's like, that's a lot of the reason why I don't tell my new friend about it, because it's kind of like I got a fresh slate, and I'm like getting to see what life is like without that drama, and I like it, so that's helping me to get there.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly understand you becoming emotionally involved with someone else, someone that makes you feel more safe and secure, outside of the home and outside of your relationship with Jeff. The only thing I just want to caution you on is to be careful, because if he is unstable, you never know where he's going to show up, what he's going to do. What's keeping him from coming to your school?
I know.
Checking up on you.
I worry about that.
And you don't want to get someone, an innocent bystander,
Yeah.
caught up into something that, that you can avoid.
Mhm.
So, but you are making progress. I like it, you know. I see that, the emotional ties with Jeff is starting to fade out. It seems like you're ready for the next step in your life. And, so what we'll do, we'll pick up next week and see where you're at.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.